Park. It is March 21st, 2015. Christina Bosanakis joined by Ron Nicoletti. And another lovely day here. And Ron, we got to just set up the show a little bit. Before we get into today's card, we do have two graded stakes, in fact, two grade twos, very competitive races. Next week is the Besalú Florida Derby, and I'm so excited that obviously it's our marquee event for 3-year-olds, and a lot of these horses, we'll see them down the road and going on into the Triple Crown. So it's a fun time here in Florida.
Yeah, and just note this down. It'll be a 14-race card that day, and the first race post will be 12 p.m. So make your schedules now, whatever you got to do to get here nice and early so you can get a great seat, and it's going to be a great day. As you mentioned, the Besalú Florida Derby, Grade 1, and should be a fun afternoon, but that is next Saturday. This Saturday, as you mentioned, a beautiful day here again in South Florida. It's supposed to be a little warm later on, 87 degrees, but that's what we like. And we got, as I mentioned, fast and firm. We got nice guarantees today in our Rainbow Six, which starts in race number 7. We have a $100,000 jackpot guarantee pool, so that'll make it a lot of fun. And of course, every Saturday and Sunday, we have a $50,000 guarantee in the Pick 5 and a $100,000 guarantee in our late Pick 4. So lots of things to look forward to this afternoon. And that Rainbow Six, they're knocking on the door every day. They hit it again the other day for a couple $100,000. Last week, hit for $1,079,000 with a $366 ticket. So you don't even need to have a ticket that big. You just got to get a little luck, take all in a couple of these races that are really hard, and there you are. You're rich.
And I was going to say, today, with that $100,000 guarantee, I can use $100,000.
Oh, who could?
Yeah.
You know?
So that'll be a lot of fun, and it's been, as Ron said, it's been very popular, and people have been hitting it, and not for a huge investment. So that's going to start in race 7 later on this afternoon. And Ron, let's just get into today's races.
I'm ready.
We do have 12 races on today's card, and we kick off with the 16,000 claiming event. Mile 16th on the turf course. We do have a couple of scratches, number 7 and number 10 from the also eligibles. And my top selection, I went with number 3, and that is Fan Base. Going to be showing speed. This looks like the horse that's going to be showing some speed in here, and that might prove to be a pretty valuable asset in here.
Yeah, what I liked about this horse, too, he's a 6-time winner at the distance, 14 races at this distance, 6 wins, 2 seconds and 2/3, stretches out today. He pressed the pace last time out, going 7.5. Looks like the controlling speed. And when we say the controlling speed, does not mean the horse has to be on the lead.
Yes.
He's just up there. He could sit off a horse that might be going up and setting suicide fractions. But he's the horse that's really the speed that you have to pay attention to in there. We both used the 1 and 8 in different order here. I got the 8 in second. You got the 1 in second, and so on. So we're basically in agreement in race number 1.
I thought presumptive, actually, the 8th came on. He ran a pretty good race coming back off of the layoff. So I think that he's going to take a step forward as well for Barry Croft, and he should be in the mix. So I think these are the logical choices in
Yeah,
there.
and the 1 is a real late striding type, so if things do get dicey on the front end, one of those type of horses you like to have on your ticket.
We look on to the second race on today's card that kicks off the early Pick 4, 6250 claiming event, 1 mile on the main track. The scratches, number 2, 5, and 6. And my top selection scratched out of here, which was the number 6, although I was left with a couple of horses that I originally intended. One of them was a Ludicrous Speed, and this is, I thought this one was second last time, was well beaten second, Ron. Shining Powers, though, he's just a win machine. The horse that beat him last time, he's just a very consistent horse, very competitive at this level. That was in the slop, so I think getting back to a fast track might be a little bit helpful to this one.
Yeah, I mean, Ludicrous Speed, he's consistent. He's 4 for 4 in the money this year. He's the son of Giacomo. This is a race bitten by the scratch bug, so I just think he's the logical choice. I threw the 4 Red Pond you have in second, and Chuck Simon is the trainer of the 1 Midas Terms. Always got to watch what Chuck's doing. He's not started a lot of horses, but they all run well, turning back from a mile in the 16th to this 1-turn mile.
Yeah, I think that's going to help as well, the number 1. We look on to the third race on today's card, and it is a 30,000 claiming event. And we do have a jockey change on the number 5. Will be ridden by Edgar Zayas. And my top selection, I went with the number 5 in here, and that is Vabank. And George Navarro trains this one, and Ron just got up in the last jump last time to just eke out a win, and that was back on February 25th. And what I like is, one of the things I like is this one likes the distance, certainly. If you look at some of his earlier starts, 7 furlongs, maybe a little too far for him. 6 furlongs is perfect.
Yeah, you said he just got up, but he had a little trouble at the start, and he was bumped a little bit. And George Navarro, the trainer, is 28% winning consecutive races. I used the 7 in second, and this one is Pontos, a recent gelding who was facing considerably tougher before the layoff, has trained consistently across town at Gulfstream Park West. It's Efren Loza Jr. He's 26% with this type of layoff, 61 to 180 days. Bond's been doing a lot of good work, and Gulfstream Park West, I just want to point out, when horses run over there, it's a deeper surface. They get legged up over there, so I thought I'd throw the 7. Pontos, the first time gelding.
I threw in number 4, Take Time to Pray. Safi Joseph Jr. Trains this one. Last time, just a pretty forgettable race. That was on the grass, though, so we're getting back to the dirt here. And here's another one that I think, if you look back to some of his earlier form, it's been pretty good. And so Safi and Javier Castellano, the jock, they hit at like 40% when they're together, when they combine. That number's like ridiculous.
Yeah, you got to pay attention to that. And what we're talking about is the jockey trainer combo when they hook up. And a great thing you find in our program, both the small and the big. It's always good to look if you're a first time, at the track, or just a neophyte just learning the game. That's a good angle to use. And Christina points it out, 40%. 40%. That's pretty darn good.
That's pretty darn good. We look out to the 4th race on the card. It is a 20,000 claiming event, and 5 furlongs on the turf course. We do have a jockey change. Number 3 will be ridden by Leandro Goncalves. And my top selection, there's some variation. Number 4, Wildcat Pleasures. And this one, if you look at that last race, look at those early splits, Ron.
I know, he was going quick.
He was going quick, and he held on, and he was able to hold it to the wire, and in fact he won comfortably, I would say. So much the best. Yes, he's going to be taking money here today, but there are a couple of other options, and you went in a different direction with Slamorama.
Well, I'm jumping on the Javier Castellano bandwagon on this one. He's sitting on a winning performance, this horse, Slamorama, after I thought a pair of well-meant second-place finishes at this level. The trainer is John Toscano Jr., and as I mentioned, Javier Castellano. I have the 4 for all the reasons you mentioned, and I also used the 7. His freedom range is turning back to 5 furlongs. Track the pace, and I really like the work that Brendan Walsh and Corey Lannery have been doing at this meet, so I threw this one on the ticket.
I also threw in number 8, and that's Matar from the Wesley Ward barn, and he was another one that made a pretty strong move in his last race, a strong middle move, and then he just got tired. He just got passed late, but I'm hoping that he'll be able to sustain it a little bit longer, Ron, especially because it's 5 furlongs. We're cutting back.
I see a theme coming here. We agree with our top choice, sort of, but after that, we're not.
We're nowhere.
We're nowhere alike.
We're nowhere. We look on to the 5th race, and it's a 62.50 claiming event. It is 7 furlongs on the main track. We do have a couple of scratches, number 5 and number 8. And again, it's kind of what you're saying. Number 3, No Act. And again, I'm on the Javier Castellano bandwagon apparently too. And winner last time was claimed off of George Navarro, now in the barn of Norman Pointer. And I thought, again, a very consistent sort at the distance at this racetrack. So I think one that you certainly will have to use is number 3, No Act.
Yeah, I lost my top pick in here. I really like the horse that Scratch Cat's my song, so I moved up with number 3, No Act. And No Act is one of these horses, been around here forever. This is a hard-trying horse, always runs well. He rallied 5 wide last time out. I got the number 2, my brother Johnny A in second in there. This one he'll be running and gunning as soon as they pop the latch. So I think he's the speed that you're going to have to catch. And Grand Bamboo we both have in 3rd.
I think Grand Bamboo is going to be showing speed. My brother Johnny A, that you said, is going to be showing speed from the inside. And everything considered, I thought that we had to use. That's a big reason why I went with No Act.
Yeah, he looks like
he's going to come from off the pace, and hopefully it'll be set up for a closing type in the 5th. We look on to the 6th race. 35,000 maiden claiming. It is 5 furlongs on the turf course. And Ron, my top choice, again, here we're a little bit more in agreement. Number 3, that's a Delaware Bay. This is one that I was very keen on watching and seeing, watching him in the paddock, and watching her, in the paddock, and as she goes to the gate. So, because there was a few issues last time trying to get her to load. Maybe that's just her issue. She hasn't raced since last July. That was at Saratoga for George Weaver, and that was made in special weight company. Not a bad performance. She was only beaten a neck. She was 4th that day, and so significant drop here for George Weaver. An obvious horse But
Javier Castellano, you better have a good day today. I think we picked him in the...
I'm going to go give him a pep talk in a little bit.
Well, yeah, for all the reasons you mentioned in there, you got competition. You know, it was maiden special weight competition at Saratoga. Saratoga is like the Gulfstream meet in the winter. That's a tough meet. You really got to have a nice
for the
horse
summer,
to win there, you know, in the summertime. So, you know, this horse ran very well, dropping today to the $35,000 level. The number 9 horse in here,
Pelagia?
Pelagia. And then that looked like, I looked down and said, oh no. Yeah, this one is stepping up to competition. She opened a 2-length lead before yielding late to finish second. That was against $25,000 maidens. The trainer is Oscar Gonzalez. He's winning races here, limited sampling, but he's almost 25% at the meeting. Ed Garza is going to handle that outside post today.
Yeah, so that'll be an interesting competitive race. I also threw number 4 Discreet Concord from the Terry Pompey barn, and one off of a good work last time on March 12th. We're going to take a short break, folks, and we'll come back and have a look at today's 7th race that kicks off the 20-cent Rainbow 6.
Gulfstream Park is one of Florida's top entertainment destinations, mixing restaurants, clubs, a casino, and international boutique shops with world-class racing. In a lavish, sun-drenched setting with the feel of a Mediterranean village, Gulfstream is a leading year-round entertainment and tourist destination and the home of luxury residences in 2014. The Stronach family, owners of Gulfstream Park, is committed to the sport of thoroughbred racing and the grace, spirit, and generosity of the horse.
The Rainbow 6 is back and it's better than ever. Now with a 20-cent base wager, it will expand the market for the popular bet. And in addition to doubling the base wager, the percentage return for the winners on the day the jackpot isn't hit increases to 70%, with 30% going to the carryover pool for the next program. Gulfstream Park, you got to be here each and every day.
Welcome back to Gulfstream Park, and we're going to have a look at today's 7th race that kicks off the 20-cent Rainbow 6, and there's a $100,000 guarantee.
You got it.
Got it.
And there's a scratch.
And there's a scratch. Well, there's a scratch. And this is a grade 2. This is our first graded stakes of the afternoon. It's the grade 2 inside information, named after that tremendous race Phipps.
I'm a little confused here. See, inside information, it's the 41st running. I remember seeing inside information run here. I don't think it was 41 years ago.
I don't think it was 41 years ago either, because I remember seeing inside information run, so yes.
So they changed the name somewhere along the line, but this has been a great race over the years, and it's a grade 2 event, as you mentioned, $200,000 guaranteed.
That's a really good point, because people are going to be like, inside information. She was a tremendous race mare for the Phipps stables, is what I was saying, and Shug McGahee, and it is 7 furlongs. It is for the ladies, and we do have a scratch at number 5, and that's Quiet Hour. The Rainbow 6 starts in this race. It's so exciting. The one filly that I have on top of my filly, you have on top of my filly, this is going to be the one to beat. Number 2, Mary Meadow, and trained by Mark Hennig. What a nice filly. She's won 3 of her last consecutive victories, and last time she just galloped home. We're going to have a look at that latest race. It was the grade 3 Hurricane Birdie here at Gulfstream Park. And Ron, what I just got a kick out of watching this race again is look how she's moving relative to everybody else. Yes. She's just motoring, and nobody can just keep up with
it.
I
mean, he's just, the horse is just going on and ends up, the Larry, when he called the race, said 7 lengths, but the chart said 9, but what difference does it make when it gets like that? Easiest kind of win for her. She's been very, very impressive. Here's the thing. She had 7 furlongs. She's had 4 races. She's had a win in 2 seconds, so she's a proven commodity at this 7 furlong distance. I went with the 4 Classic Point in second, making her first start of the year after ending her 2014 campaign with victories in the 1 mile Go for Wand and the 7 furlong. I believe the name of the race was the Pumpkin Pie. Trainer Jimmy Jerkins has her training sharply for this event. It's a nice horse coming off the layoff. I don't know with Mary Meadow, the form that she's in now, that Classic Point might get to her, but certainly I had to add her on the ticket.
I'm feeling that I'm curious. I'd like to see her come back as number 3, Sweet Whiskey. This is a daughter of Old Fashioned. Not a very big filly. She doesn't hold a lot of weight, but she's really scrappy. And if you look at her, I think this is the right distance, 7 furlongs. The last time we saw her was back in November. That was in the grade 3 Go for Wand. That was Aqueduct. But I think a mile might be a hair too far for her. I think 6.5, like anywhere from 6.5, 7 furlongs. I think that's probably her distance. Although she was a good second in the Acorn, which is a grade 1 race at a mile. But I do think she might be a little bit better, just a hair shorter.
I see you use best behavior on your your ticket. I was dying to do it. I did not do it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you put it on 12-1 in the morning line. This horse, I don't think you could leave them out of your out of your exacta trifecta ticket.
She loves the racetrack. She finished actually second back at Gulfstream Park West in the Sky Beauty. She was second behind Mary Meadow. I almost feel like that's a good barometer, and came back. She won her very next start, the Glass Slipper, and that was on Claiming Crown Day. So I think she's one of those. A little bit of a question mark last time, Ron. What happened to her? Didn't really show her best at Laurel, but that was shipping out of town. She loves this track.
Loves this track, and I think you got to have her on your ticket. Like I said, I did not put her in my top 3, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to use her somewhere on my Rainbow 6 ticket.
So are you going to single here?
I'm not going to single there.
No, I'm not going to single here. We use a couple.
Yeah.
Okay. We look on to the 8th race on the card. It is a maiden special weight and 5 furlongs on the turf course. And now this kicks off the pick 5, and there's a 50,000.
She's right on it today. 50,000 as she yelled into my face. She knows everything today.
As I yell into his face. $50,000 guarantee. And this maiden special weight, a pretty competitive race, I think. And that it's actually reflected in our picks a little bit here. I went with number 5, and that is Get Air Lex. This is a 3-year-old daughter of Cantharos. Cantharos, this is his first crop of 3-year-olds. Very good season this Florida Stallion had in 2014. And I just find, Ron, we'll take a look at her latest race, her last race where she was 3rd. She was beaten 4 lengths. She was beaten 4 lengths last time. I thought it was but we were watching her at the start.
Yeah, she got backed up and actually got bumped up the last.
She got bumped, and you see her here. So now she's spotting the field a few lengths here. So I thought, beaten 4 lengths, I think she could have been closer up. Maybe if she had a little bit of a better start and a better trip. She's got the experience edge, and she's bumped up her game since she's moved to the turf, since she's been sprinting on the turf for Eddie Pliza. So I think she's one you obviously have to use.
Well, I went with the 2 in here, and I'm surprised you didn't use it, but I don't know, I'm a little frightened now that you didn't use it, and that's the 2 Dia de Encanta. This is a $220,000 daughter of Harlan's Holiday, debuting for Todd Fletcher. 8 Palm Beach Downs workout showing. Starts her career. She's got Lasik. She's got leading jock Javier Castellano in the saddle. The 5 Get Air Lex in second. And I used another horse, Quaver, as a half to a horse that I used to like, a $200,000 earner called Quay.
Key. Dia de Encanta, I just have a bit of a question mark. Sometimes I get a feeling whether I want to go there or I don't. And in this one, Harlan's Holiday, very versatile stallion. They win on the dirt. They win on the turf. So I like the pedigree running on the turf. 5 furlongs sprinting on the turf. First out for Todd Fletcher. I figured I'm going to try to take a shot. I threw in one horse that I'm actually very interested in. That's number 9, Cool Cat Jazz. This is a daughter of Wildcat Air. Wildcat Air's number's pretty good with his first-time starters on the turf. Nice recent work, and actually his turf sprinters, he's like 15%. So my only concern, a little bit the post. 5 furlongs, you're starting right on the turn there. So if she works out a good trip, I think you want to throw her in. You might get a halfway decent price on her.
Well, that's one of the horse races you have to go deep in, without a doubt.
Yeah, you got to use several. We look on to the 9th race on today's card. It is a maiden special weight, a mile on the turf course, and this kicks off the late pick 4, and there is a $100,000 guarantee in starting with race 9.
Yep, 9, 10, 11,
you see,
12.
Look at 3 for 3.
Yeah, it's like perfect today.
Reeling these off. So now, talk about another competitive race that I think that you've got to use a couple of different horses. I did go with number 7 in here, and that is Alt. This is a son of English Channel. The pedigree is turf, and not only turf, going a route of ground or increasing, stepping up in trip from those 6 furlongs that he was running at Woodbine. Pedigree-wise, should be no problem. If this one comes back to the same level, I think this one's going to be, it's one of the obvious horses certainly you have to use.
Yeah, I had to use it on the ticket, and we both used the 8 on the ticket. I had it on top 20 gauge, turning back to a mile after a ground-saving trip, produced a 4th-place finish against the same caliber of competition. Dale Romans, Corey Lannery in the saddle today, handling this turn back and distant, and I threw in the number 9, Arch in the Park, who's stepping up today and stretching out. He had a little trouble. He was bumped early and late in that race.
We look on to the 10th race on today's card, and it is the Grade 2 Royal Delta, a mile and a 16th on the main track, and this is the 2nd graded stake run of the afternoon, again for the ladies, and recently actually was previously the Sabin and is now the Royal Delta. Royal Delta, I think she won the Sabin twice. I think she won it.
What a great race mare she was.
Yeah, what a great race mare she was, and so I did go with the number 6, and that is House Rules, a daughter of Distorted Humor. Ron, what can we say? House rules, and there's so many things happening here. On paper, she figures her numbers have been great. Let's take a look at that latest race when she won the Grade 3 Rampart. Not the cleanest of trips, and not the cleanest of runs here in the stretch. There was some bumping, there was some veering. You know, everything considered, she got the job done. She was the best horse, I think, in that race that day. Although
there was a little trouble in there, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of people thought that maybe she might have to come down in there. I was not one of them, but she ran very well. That was her second consecutive graded stakes win. I used Molly Morgan and sheer drama in there. I really like house rules today, and that horse I think is going to move forward off that performance and run very, very well in there.
Yeah, I do too, and it's also Jimmy Jerkins is the trainer, and Jimmy Jerkins, the son of Alan Jerkins, the Hall of Fame trainer that just passed away earlier this week. So it's going to be, it's bittersweet. At the same time, I think a lot of people will be rooting for these connections because Alan Jerkins actually had this filly earlier on in her career. We do look on to the 11th race on today's card. This is an allowance optional claiming event, and it is claiming tag 62,500, mile and a 16th on the turf. And my top pick in here, I went with number 9, and that's 10-pin Marcassi. Look at those works.
He's
really,
working well.
really, she's working very, very well. She was second at Del Mar over the summer in the San Clemente, and behind a horse that came back and followed up and won again. A little bit forgettable performance in the Del Mar Oaks. That's a Grade 1 race in August. Went missing after that, but that was also 9 furlongs. I think a mile and a 16th, probably better for this filly. And I think she's already a graded stakes winner. If she runs back to some of her earlier form, I think she'll be okay.
I used the number. I agree with you there.
Yeah.
I did not use it on my ticket. I went with the 6 Market Magic, trying to make it 2 in a row after responding to the addition of blinkers last time out with a victory against entry-level allowance runners. It's Bill Mott, John Velasquez. Horse I put in second to number 4, Merilor. This one is returning to optional claiming ranks. She ended a 2014 campaign. A couple of bad performances. I like the way she's working, and I think Dave Casson, this is going to be the sneaky in the race, ridden today by Jonathan Gonzalez, and we both have the number 2 horse. This is a Grade 3 winning daughter of Kitten's Joyce, so we got our Kitten's Joy on the ticket.
Yeah, I'm worried with Munira. If she runs back to her 3 earlier, her first races, then she's going to be in good shape. A little bit of a question mark. What happened to her in her last two races? I was there for the Monmouth Park race. She beat some of the handy horses. So again, a bit of a question mark. I threw her in on my ticket and thinking she's going to be right. She's off of a pretty good recent race. Work. We do look on to the final race on the afternoon, and it is an allowance optional claiming tag $25,000, and it's a 5 furlong turf affair, and a couple scratches, number 8 and number 10. And Ron,
I actually have to get another scratch in. I got a scratch in here of Montana Cowboy. I got to get him out of that race too.
Yeah,
I didn't have a chance to change it yet, so
yes.
I'm going to stick with the 2-9 right now and change the 10 in just a bit.
Wicked Tune, and this is an 8-year-old horse from the Jane Sibeli barn, and he's just so consistent. We haven't seen him since last June. That was at Monmouth Park in the McSorley, and again, very competitive. When he's right, he's spot on. He loves the distance. On the turf course, he runs his race. He's very, very fast. If you look back, he won the Gulfstream turf sprint, and that was back February of 2014. But again, we haven't seen him for a while. But I think if he runs back to those early races, some of those early races, he'll be tough.
I wanted to show you the horse that I have on the ticket in second, Deterrent, and this is a video of him winning last time out. Boy, oh boy, he really won for fun in this race, and that was, he drove away in handy fashion. He never was even asked in here. That was a $20,000 3-lifetime claimers here. Won this race by 5.5 lengths. Jason Service, he's good. He gave this horse some time off, 61 to 180 days. I just had to show this race because how dominant the horse was.
Well, Ron, I think another point, too, that I added him on my had a scratch, and I added him on my ticket, and I actually moved him up because the horses that scratched out of there, Dedicated to Bob, Montana Cowboy, speed. Both of them were going to be showing speed. Well, Deterrent, he's a horse that we know that he's going to be up on the engine. So again, with the scratches, that's helped his cause. Yeah, it's helped his course today, and I think he's going to do very well in there. Like I said, I'll give you another selection when we come back on the air. But should be a real fun day today. We got those great, guarantees in the pick 6, $100,000 in the pick 5, $50,000. The late pick 4, $100,000. And as we say, 100, 50, 100. That's how we remember it. Yeah, we sure do. And Larry Colmus will be on in just a moment to give us the updated scratches and changes for today. Mr. Ron Nicoletti and I will be back in just a little bit, and throughout the day, folks, stick around. Great one on tap.